As we enter Season 3 for the NIU Huskies, there is one question that has lingered on the minds of Husky fans and everybody around surrounding the team, and that is that of Cash Riley and all of the issues that have sparked from him, especially to close the last season. Throwing offensive linemen under the bus for bad performances, waving the special teams off to go for it on fourth down, turning the football over time after time late in the season, losing the final three, including our bowl game. Many were asking, why hasn't he been benched? Why has he not been disciplined more? Why is he just allowed to run free? Character concerns were obviously an issue with him coming out of high school, but we hope that going into Season 2, he can grow and mature. He and Coach Easy had a sit down before the season, really kind of hashed things out a little bit and kind of came to an understanding that, we're going to go for it on fourth down. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to do certain things the way you want to do them, but also you have to play within the structure of this team, play within the structure of this offense. We don't need you to be the star every single day. We don't need to win because of you, but we'd like to win with you. And for Cash Riley, he said all the right things. He responded well, but we're tired of him saying things. He's been saying a lot for the past year. We want him to start doing the right thing rather than saying the right thing. But I mean, I guess saying the right things is at least a step forward because he wasn't even doing that last year. He has no excuses this time around, really. He's got a new offensive line. 4 of the 5 players on this offensive line are brand new starters. So he's got to come out here and show that he can go behind a much more talented offensive line with a better rushing attack, because we got Lee Orlando in the transfer portal, and we got the same receivers, and Jalen Leanne's back, and even though Cooper Flanagan graduated, we went and got a tight end in the transfer portal. The defense should be a little bit better. We have a lot of new players and a lot of new starters on this team, so we are expecting better, bigger things this year. The leash will also be a little bit smaller. He's got a opportunity to still be this team's day one quarterback, but we didn't have anybody we can throw in last year. Jalen Macon was awful, and we didn't want to go back there. This year, we got some emerging players as backup quarterbacks, and if he doesn't show that growth, he doesn't show that maturity, then we will not hesitate as much to go to our bench, but we're going to hope it doesn't come to that, because he's still the most talented quarterback on this team. As third down hits for Temple, and they get stopped. Fourth down field goal try off the upright, and the first offensive try for the Huskies ends in a missed field goal. Now the offense, we go Roxy Kennedy on the ground. We really feel like when we leaned on Roxy, we seen some of our biggest successes last season, and the run game should be even better, not just with the offensive line, but the addition of Lee Orlando, who is maybe even a more talented back than Roxy. Even though Roxy will be the starter, you'll see plenty of Orlando as a pass is incomplete. That downfield shot a little overthrown. And now the throw on third down and 9 is incomplete. We're really hoping to see more from our secondary after a lot of reshuffling in that area. Lee Orlando that the carry, and coming over in the transfer portal, a real surprise late second addition for us. But the last late second addition for us last year, running back Martin Elena, turned out to be pretty good, even though he was just a 2-star player. So we have a pretty stacked backfield. Jalen Leanne makes the grab for a 7-yard gain. Third down and 3. Roxy Kennedy short, and it's 4th and inches, and this is a situation where we're all in agreement going forward. And here is the fullback tight end hybrid, Seti Elmira, true freshman, for the first down, and a nice run after the fullback dive as Riley hit as he's throwing, sets up third down and 6. And despite the free rusher, Roxy Kennedy out of the backfield had over 50 grabs last year and was moving the chains quite a bit through the air. We'll see if he does it a lot this season as well, as Lee Orlando takes a 6-yard carry, gets us to the 12-yard line. Third down and 4. Riley gets it to Leanne, and Leanne, the ball comes out, and Temple scoops it up. But this one definitely looks like he was down, and Leanne, yeah, that's a pretty clear down, not a fumble. Will happily take that football right back in a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line as we go back out of there on offense. Call gets overturned. Riley in the pistol, and under a minute to go in this first quarter. Riley rolling out, throws it, and it's intercepted in the end zone. And we had the turnover overturned, but you gave him the ball right back as Cash Riley. That's the type of play we cannot see from him, as that pass is going to be caught for a gain of 10. Quarterback for Temple, Drew Devalier over the middle. That's going to be receiver Benedict Saturday. with a grab for a gain of 9. 3rd down and 1. Tight end to the outside, and he was open on the RPO. First quarter comes to an end. 0-0 game as the RPO read option, just the keeper. And it will be Masarena Alaya, the Nigerian safety, getting his first career playing time. And we're excited to see what the athletic freak, who is inexperienced at football, has to offer this team. Collins gets in up the middle, but the rush is causing De Valier to run it up the middle for a gain of 18. He's run it a lot and run it well so far as De Valier steps up outside, caught inside the 10 and down to the 2 as it's goal to go. Hand off, and that's going to be a hit in the backfield. Collins lights him up. 2nd down and goal. De Valier on the run. Caught. No, it's knocked away at the last second. Miles Graham delivers the hit. 3rd down and goal. De Valier over the middle, wide open. Touchdown Temple, and they take the lead. And this is a team in NIU who's really got some high aspirations this year. They set the foundation in Season 2. Year 3 is really where we're supposed to hit the ground running and get to that maybe MAC championship contention, as Lee Orlando is going to get a 12-yard carry, but we cannot have a misstep here in the non-conference week 1 schedule as Riley throws it back over the middle, and there's Jackson Warren in the transfer portal, a 6'8" tight end who is a lot different than Cooper Flanagan, but still hopefully can give us a high level of receiving production as Riley outside. There's Jalen Leanne with the grab, and Leanne 5 catches already in this first half, getting him involved early and often, the nation's leader in yards after catch last season, looking to maybe do it once again as Riley quick pass to the outside. It's gonna be 4th down and 1 after the 3-yard gain, and going for it once again, handing it off, and it's stopped in the backfield. Lee Orlando couldn't have any room. And now Temple with the lead, and the option this time not going anywhere. 2nd and 11, 5 minutes to play. Collins hits him, passes up in the air, it's intercepted, and Bakari Swain takes it away, and Swain with a solid return. The biggest issue with this defense last year was the inability to make big plays, splash plays, basically towards the bottom of the nation in sacks and bottom 5 in turnovers forced. And we get one there. As the pass on the blitz, he gets it off. Miles Kendricks underneath, got room to run, and a 46-yard touchdown. A little too aggressive from Temple. Kendrick got space, and he outran the whole defense. Extra point for the tie is blocked. And no tie. NIU still down on the scoreboard. Temple will take back over up by 1 as the pressure gets in now. Nice coverage downfield and a sack. 2 guys got in. Play action as a deep shot, and that's Trevor Holton getting the swat. Holton now playing nickel corner. He was our free safety last year. He's going to be playing corner this year. It's 3rd down and long, and the pressure again. Darren Reed, one of our transfer portal pickups, starting at edge rusher, gets the sack. Kennedy now taking back over. We lose 3 yards. 2nd down and 13 for Riley as he's moving left, just drifting and going. Jackson Warren can't hang on. And a 3rd down and long. Screen set up for Roxy, and he gets a nice block on the edge. Roxy Kennedy, 3rd down and 13, and a conversion. And Roxy just finding his way, now doing it on the ground. 1st down, stiff arm, Roxy Kennedy for 14, and there's why he is still the starting running back for this team. Martin Elena, who is going to get a carry now. He is really fighting for playing time. Flag is down, as this is going to be a hold, so Martin Elena gets a carry, does pretty well with it, but it comes back. 1st down and 15 as Riley over the middle. Warren with the grab and gets us the 2nd down and 7. 2-minute warning, approaching play action for Riley. He's going to move and not get away from the rush. It's a sack. Maybe it was a little indecisive there with his movement. Blitz on 3rd down and long. Gets it away. Jaylen Leanne. And the 2nd time a blitz has been beaten for a big play. Riley sweeps it. Elena cuts it back. And Martin Elena, about as good of a 3rd string running back as you're going to find, as Roxy Kennedy is going to slip his way down to the 1-yard line. Under a minute to play in the first half as Roxy in the backfield takes the carry, and Roxy gets a walk-in easy touchdown. That will be our lead going into half. A 13-7 score. Temple, though, will get the football to start the 3rd quarter, as in just a 1-score game, this Temple team looking to pull this one off. I mean, talent-wise, you look at the rosters on paper, and definitely NIU is the favorite here, but Temple fighting hard in the first half. Now, starting the second half off with a 3-and-out, and Lee Orlando on the edge, and Lee Orlando to the 29-yard line. You almost feel bad a little bit for Martin Elena because it's going to be hard for him to find playing time with this running back room, as Leanne for a first down, another catch for him. As going back to Orlando, he'll get 3 yards. We're at the 15-yard line now. 3rd down and 7. Riley underneath to Givens, and it's short, but a 4th down and 2. We're going for it inside the 10. Riley, quick pass. Gary Givens has the first down and down to the 1-yard line. Very similar concept to the 3rd down play. As goal to go, Lee Orlando. First touchdown for the Huskies on his new start, his new career, as the kickoff, meanwhile, is going to go out of bounds. But we're happy with both of our starting running backs getting a touchdown each. 20-7 your score, as the offense looking pretty solid to start off the year. Read option, keeper, and Devalier has been the only real offense for this team on the ground. He'll sneak it for the first down, as the offense everywhere else has not really been able to do much. I mean, we haven't even called the running back Dickens' name because he hasn't gotten anything going. Through the air, it hasn't been a whole lot better, but they do get a 4-yard first down completion there as we're halfway through the 3rd. And there goes Dickens for a loss. Like I said, he just hasn't been able to get anything. 3rd down and 13. Devalier down the middle, coming over as Masarena lying to level him. And him and the freshman, true freshman, Aurelius Aritz at cornerback on the play. So that was a nice one. And you could really tell that Masarena is ready for the task, ready for the job. What development he's had, you know, just his 3rd year playing football. He's still new to the sport. Riley hit as he's throwing, so a 3-and-out for the NIU team. But we really hope the cornerback room in the secondary can be a lot better. You know, moving Holton from free safety down to nickel, moving Shaq Alba from strong to free safety, Masarena taking over the strong safety spot, and then Aurelius Aritz, the true freshman, taking over the other outside corner spot, as a flag down for Temple holding. So take off that first down, back them up. 3rd down and 15. Quick pass is not going to get them anything, as he doesn't even complete it. They punt the football away in a 10-point game. Riley is going to roll, throw, and Leanne reels it in. Jalen Leanne, how many catches has he got on this game, as Orlando on the draw? And a nice healthy split between Roxy and Orlando. Little play action, double fake, gets it down the field, and Sene Almira, the freshman tight end. And Almira, that's going to be his role on this passing attack. Occasionally leaking out as that wing speedy tight end threat to get vertical down the field, as Roxy Kennedy will finish up the drive with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And this offense is really clicking. That interception to start the game was not great, obviously, and you were really fearing that things were going to start to get a little bit worse, and he was picking up right where he left off of last year. But, I mean, things have really settled, and, you know, even though it hasn't been a spectacular Cash Riley game, he's definitely felt like he's listened a little bit more and just let the other players be the stars. Let the other guys do their thing. It doesn't have to be him being the reason we win. We can win because of the ground game. We can win because of our defense, as Vakari Swain making a nice play there. He's already got a pick today. Now a nice breakup as Chambliss gets a tackle for loss. 3rd down and 12, as they're going to go take a one-on-one shot, and it's intercepted again. Vakari Swain, his 2nd of the game. And things really looking better for Vakari, as he seemingly has taken a big step up in his play. We asked for more turnovers and splash plays from the defense. They're delivering so far. Screen out to Kendrick, and a short 6-yard gain as the 3rd quarter wrapping up. Riley open. It's Jalen Leanne again. Spin move, breaking a tackle, and Leanne gets his 9th catch of the game, over 100 yards now. Orlando on the ground, as we can really control this clock, control this ball. Play action. Riley is going to wait, get an open man, and it's Leanne again. 10th grab, over 300 yards for Riley, as he's going to throw over the middle for Jackson Warren. Makes the grab, gets the first down, and into the red zone. as a handoff. Roxy Kennedy, will he get number 3? He gets 4 yards there, but looking for that 3rd rushing touchdown of the game as Riley is moving. Riley is not going to throw. He's just going to keep it himself. A rare run for Riley. Gets 6, 3rd down and inches. And the handoff. Roxy Kennedy, 1st down to the 7. And Kennedy 20 carries. Now Orlando comes in, and Lee is going to run it right down to the 2-yard line. Orlando stays in. Lee Orlando, his 2nd touchdown. Both running backs with a pair of scores. And this rushing attack could really be special for this Husky squad. I mean, just look at what Orlando's doing in his debut to go along with what we already know to be true, and that Roxy is a certified starting good running back. As a drop there on Temple's 4th down try is going to give us the ball right back in great field position. Up top, that's a miss. Unfortunate miss for Riley, but it's 3rd down and 9 as Riley, incomplete pass, 4th down, field goal try. I mean, this game, it's well out of reach. It's 37-10, and we'll see what other highlights we have as a blitz sent in and a sack. Chambliss gets him to 4th down and 19, and with just 2:40 to play, and Devalier throwing a deep shot again, and it's Bakari Swain again. You keep testing him, and he's continuing to make you pay. 3 interceptions for Bakari Swain, already more than he had last year, and he did it all in week 1. I mean, this is week 0, actually, so yeah, he did it all before even week 1. 37-10 is your final in a really fun opener for the Huskies that went all in their favor. 500 yards of offense for this team as Cash Riley played, after the interception, a pretty clean game. Didn't take many sacks, didn't throw many passes in harm's way. A phenomenal game from our defense. How about Evan Dickens getting 14 carries for 0 yards? I mean, that's incredible run defense. Roxy Kennedy goes for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Orlando, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Elena, 22 yards. He got the carries at the end of the game. But, man, I mean, the running game was awesome. Jalen Leanne, 124 yards on 10 catches. And this is what we like to see. Just let the stars be the stars. Jalen Leanne is the star. Roxy is the star. Leo Orlando could be an emerging star. Let them carry the load. Let them do their thing. We've seen this, though, with Cash. We're not going to go and celebrate after one game that, he's here. He's finally matured. He's finally this or finally that. When things are riding high, Cash Riley's good. He's great. He does his thing. What we're waiting to see is when the adversity hits, because we're not going to go through a whole season without any adversity. When the adversity hits, how does he react? How does he respond? Does he throw teammates under the bus again? Does he get angry? Does he start defying coaches? Well, what happens when things start going wrong? That's the ultimate question. That has always been what the question is. So we'll wait and see, but we're not going to rain on the parade too much. A huge opening victory for us, and now we get to talk about some prospects and recruiting, as we always have fun talking about these recruits, as we're doing things a little bit differently for this year and the coming years, because we already got a bunch of really interesting stories, when it comes to all these players around the nation. I want to go and focus more on those guys. So rather than a prospect after every game to make it 12 prospects on the season, we'll have 8 prospects on the season, but we'll spend the extra 4 segments that we have taking a look at guys like the Comellas, Blaze Carlisle, Dieter Keaton, Sean Oden, some of these other players that were from last year's class, like Tyrone Austin and all these other guys, because now, especially guys like the Comellas and Blaze, who we're going to run into a little bit later on, they're starters now. They're getting around. They're doing their thing in the world of college football, and it's important to keep up with those guys. So let's get into our first player of the season, where we're actually going to be taking a look at quarterback in 3-star Carly Lenz out of Ohio. And this is a quarterback, I mean, if you want the antithesis of the type of player that Cash Riley is, a bigger, strong arm, immobile quarterback, well, Carly Lenz is all rushing, all running, all his accolades and his statistics have come on the grounds. This is a high-level rushing quarterback threat, the type of guy who when he was in high school, it was basically a situation where this guy is the best athlete on our team, the best player we have. Let's just throw him at quarterback because he'll have the ball the most. So it was one of those situations where he's not a quarterback by nature, not a quarterback naturally, but it's kind of the position he has been thrust into by his team, and it's a position that he has gotten steadily better at. It can make some real highlight plays, as you can see right there, an incredible extension of the play and throwing it down the field. He's got an adequate enough arm to where he is a quarterback in that regard. He's got that ability to him to where one day maybe he could be a fine thrower of the football. But with what he has done in high school, I mean, over 80% of his offense has been on the ground when it came to running the football with him, running backs, and, you know, the options, the speed options, triple options, jet passes, and stuff like that. It's just not a whole lot of drop back passing stuff that you have seen from him throughout his career. The little that we have seen, it's been sporadic. The accuracy is as you'd expect, really up and down, really inconsistent. Some really nice plays, some really ugly plays as well. This is also the type of guy where, you know, being a rare drop back passer, he's more of a one read and run quarterback. He doesn't often get to his second, third, fourth progressions. And when he does, it's when he's playing more backyard football or playing these crazy highlight reel plays that you maybe don't get away with in higher levels of play. This is a really interesting player, though. For every guy like this that succeeds, there's hundreds that fail, you know, getting these pure runners to try to develop them from the ground up as passers. So, you know, maybe the development path is that of, you know, rarer success, but I mean, there's also an avenue for him to potentially be another position player. I mean, this is a guy who's 6 foot 205, could play running back, could play wide receiver. He's got some skills that make you believe that could be an option for him. And there's really 3 outcomes for him as a player. Either this is going to be a spot where a military school and a triple option offense is going to love to bring him in, make him their quarterback, and he'll have a really successful rushing career with not having to pass it much. Or he'll switch positions, he'll be a wide receiver, he'll be a running back. Or the position that people are probably going to try to take on him is to try to really develop him from the ground up as a thrower. Because even if he is an average thrower of the football and an elite rusher, that is still more than what many quarterbacks in the world of college football have. That's the highest upside for him as a player, and many teams are going to try to hopefully get that out of him. That is the highest percentile outcome of a guy like Carly Lenz, but you got to be realistic with the type of player that you're going to be dealing with here. The accuracy is off, the arm strength isn't elite, the running is, but you have to have some growing pains, and you probably can't start him at least for a season, maybe even 2. But Carly Lenz still does provide you one of the most dynamic and athletic rushing QB threats in the entire country, even as a 3-star prospect. NIU is one of the handful of teams that got to kick off the college football season in week 0, but the rest of the teams in the world of college football are getting their season started this week, and one of them being our opponents, Liberty. We get to start a little bit early, but Liberty's opening game taking on the Huskies. We'll see if we can improve to 2-0. This is the easier half of our non-conference schedule, Liberty and Temple, whereas the harder half being Minnesota and our next game, Colorado, both on the road. We'll be seeing how we can do against those better teams. As Liberty, we cannot overlook them, as a read option is going to get them to a 3rd down and inches, as they're going to go with a little pop pass and not going to get the first down. Thomas Collins with the stop, and already a punt situation. Martin Elena back to return, still our return man, both punts and kicks as Elena waves his way past midfield, and a solid return to start our drive as a handoff. Roxy Kennedy gets a block from Leanne, and Roxy Kennedy will make a bait, tracked him down at the 1-yard line, 42 yards for Roxy. And the drive finished off. Roxy lines up at fullback, takes the touchdown. He deserved it. He earned that one, along with the rest of the offensive line. Jalen Leanne's blocking, and a quick 7-0 lead for the Huskies as a handoff. That's going to be Johnny Stoneburner. This team's offense runs through the ground attack just like ours, and Stoneburner fumbles the football. It's scooped up, and a turnover for the defense. It was Aurelius Aritz, the freshman corner. You're going to see what he did on this play. Incredible from the freshman, coming over from his corner spot, laying that final hit that jarred the ball loose and recovering it. Ritz making a huge impact in his second career game, and not in the way you'd expect, as now inside the 25-yard line, Riley, play action, outside, Jalen Leanne down to the 2, and Leanne setting us up. Roxy not able to find his second touchdown as we get them in motion. Roxy is going to get it fake to him, and a pass incomplete. 3rd down and goal, handing it off. Roxy, not gonna happen. 4th and goal, going for it. Risky decision, and Riley delivers. Jalen Leanne with the touchdown. And Jalen Leanne coming up big, and it's the players that you turn to when you want big plays. Roxy Kennedy with a 42-yard run. Leanne with a catch to set us up down to the 2-yard line, and then a 4th down score. A quick 14-0 game as that pass is way off from Aiden Warner. As the offense back out there, Riley taking a shot deep. He wants Kendrick, incomplete. And a deep shot. Riley still wants to take his couple a game, but he definitely has been asked to reel them back a bit, as Riley is going to get hit, incomplete. 3rd down is not going to happen for us, so defense for Liberty gets a stop. But now Sullivan, one of our transfer portal pickups, a more pass rushing D tackle. Him and Baraka Rugamba are going to kind of rotate a little bit. Rugamba more the run stopper, Stewart the pass rusher. So we get a little bit better of a rotation there. Helps us get off the field once more. Kennedy a 10-yard grab, and Roxy doing what he did last year so well, receiving the football, and Roxy on another grab, and is going to get 6. 3rd down and 3. Play action. Riley has got time. Offensive line's doing a good job on a 3-man rush, and Warren can't hang on. 3rd and 3 at the 39, going for it. Definitely a spot where we want to go for. We can't kick a 56-yarder, and a sack. That's just unfortunate. But so far, at least all the 4th down calls have been, you know, mutually accepted by the coaching staff and Riley. As 1st and 10, Stewart Sullivan with another sack. And a great addition, it feels like, to get some more pass rush on the interior, as it's 2nd and 19. Short pass is going to be caught, and a completion to get him to 3rd and 11. First quarter, just 2 minutes to go, as that pass down the field is going to be knocked away. Chambliss got in there just in time, as Riley finds Seti Almira underneath, and Almira with the spin move. Nice to see Seti getting involved. Back-to-back games with a catch. Both of them been rather big catches, as Riley on the move, and that pass just too far out. Probably a good thing that was inaccurate, as Riley on 3rd down, it's Jalen Leanne after the catch is going to get us to the 32-yard line, and Jalen Leanne is starting out hot. Deep pass for the end zone, knocked away. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Handoff to Orlando, who's going to get 7, but things for Leanne are a lot better right now, as you know, with his sister committing to NIU, and he doesn't have to travel back and forth, doesn't have to miss a day of practice every week, is able to actually kind of put his head down, really focus on things. He's getting even better, and he's looking scary as Riley scrambles for the 1st down inside the 10, and the handoff, Lee Orlando down to the 1, real close. Elena checks in the game. They throw it out. It's Jalen Leanne, touchdown again, his 2nd of the day. And Jalen Leanne, I mean, you get a locked-in Jalen Leanne, and it's looking special. 10 catches for over 100 yards last week. 2 touchdowns in the first half this week. As the kickoff back deep, it's going to be a really solid return for Liberty, all the way out to the 44-yard line. And maybe they can get something going on offense. It's the handoff. There goes Stoneburner. Gets the block sealed on the edge, and that's a huge run. Liberty finally finds themselves in scoring range as the read option gets him a decent 1st down gain of 4 as they go with the run to Stoneburner again. He's powering his way inside the 10. Goal to go. Warner to the air, needing something. A flag is down, but they really need to put points up on this board. 21-0. If you're going to have a chance in this one, you can't let it spiral even further, as a hold is going to set them back, and that's exactly what you can't have. 2nd and 18. Warner the air, and pressure in his face from Reed. He gets it out, but it will be for 6, 3rd down and goal from the 12. Warner is got a 4-man rush, floats it back in the end zone, incomplete. That was Masarena Alaya back there, along with Trevor Holton, and a field goal for Liberty is good. And play action now for Riley to kick off this drive for the Huskies. Stops and throws it, and it's caught for Gibbons, but there's a flag down. That was a really impressive throw and catch, and that was one of the better plays Riley's made so far this early season, but it's coming back as it's 2nd and 17 now. Riley to the air, over the middle, and it's Obamanu, one of our new receiving pickups. He's going to kind of rotate with Gibbons a little bit. Obamanu's a little bit more of a vertical threat as Riley blindside sack, and he goes down. 3rd and 15. Riley with a design roll screen, just get it out to Kennedy. Can he get the first down? Roxy is stood up. Great tackle. 4th and 3. If he was maybe a yard or two closer, would have considered going for it, but they punt it. And now Warner down by 18. Can he get a drive going before the end of the half? As pressure comes in, he dirts that screen ball, and it's 3rd and 9 for Warner. As the curl first down, right in front of Ritz, who brings him down. But now Warner, read option, gets to the edge, and Ritz brings him down for a gain of 8. As now 2nd down, they're going to flip it backwards, and a great chase and tackle. That was Shaq Alba out there as it's 3rd down and 4. Deep shot, Holton swats it away, and Trevor Holton holding up well in the nickel to start off his new kind of transition to close out his NIU career, playing a new spot on this defense. Riley, play action, deep shot. That's right along the sidelines and a little too far out. Maybe had Leanne with a chance there if that ball was a little bit more in bounds. As the pressure, he breaks out of the sack, and Warner throws it back middle, and it's Trevor Holton with the deflection. As now Warner with the run sheds a tackle, and he will get brought down by Trevor Holton. What an impressive job for Holton so far as they find a man over the middle, and that's a 1st down to Udo for a nice game past midfield. And Warner out there is going to find another receiver with under a minute to play. They could really use points on this drive as they're going to go outside. They're very much in field goal range, but can they find the end zone to cut this down as they throw down the middle in a 1st and goal? As we have them with 30 seconds to play, Stoneburner with a solid gain. He'll get him to the 2-yard line. 15 seconds to go, 1 timeout, 2nd and goal. Collins sacked, and he's got to burn the final timeout. 10 seconds to play in the half. As Warner, a lot of time. He'll step up and break out of the read, sack, and it's a touchdown. And you had him brought down, but you just couldn't wrap him up. You had him right where you wanted him, though. It'll be 21-10 at half, and a pretty similar rushing attack. Both teams have ran it roughly 20 times for 60 yards, so not effective, but a lot of volume, and we'll see if NIU can run it better in the second half as they flip one out. Leanne gets it. It goes down as his 5th catch of the game. That's going to get 5 yards. 2nd down, and they go to a Lee Orlando carry who sheds through the opening. And that is a very nice run. Loves to see these running backs going through arm tackles, and both of our guys can do that. And a wide open Jackson Warren on play action. And Warren to the red zone we go. Toss it out. Orlando cuts it back in. Orlando touchdown. That was just an awesome play. Great blocking. Orlando cutting it inside to find that wide open hole. When it is beautifully blocked, this running game has really been special so far in these first 6.5 quarters roughly. Some really good runs as that pass. Reed swats it away at the line. Really impressive. 3rd down and 10 as Warner got time in the pocket. Eventually has to get rid of it. Pass, knockdown. And another stop from the defense as Riley. That's going to be a drop from Jackson Warren. Maybe could have put it a little lower, but got to reel that one in. 3rd down and 10 for Riley. Hit as he's throwing. And an incomplete pass to a 3 and out. But 28-10 for NIU as Stoneburner gets to the edge. And that's a nice block on Matthew Hurt, who really didn't have much of a chance against that lineman. And that pass incomplete. Miles Graham in coverage. And I mean, don't forget about how impressive Miles Graham was last season. He was spectacular. Defense gets another stop, and Roxy Kennedy on the ground will have 7 on the play. We can really get into some clock control, ground game offense as Riley gets it out to Warren, who can't break any tackles, loses 4, and it's 3rd down and 7 for Riley. Over the middle, Kendrick in traffic, Nice grab. As a flag is down, that's going to be a free play. Warren runs through him, and Jackson Warren maybe making up for that drop a little bit, as it will be offsides. Obviously going to decline that one and keep this offense moving forward as we are aiming to get to the fourth quarter, as Riley underneath. Leanne got the completion to him, and Jalen Leanne has got a 6th grab of the day. 3rd down and 4. Make it 7. Jalen Leanne inside the 10 to the 6-yard line on 2nd and goal. Roxy Kennedy down to the 3. 3rd quarter, just 20 seconds to play. Orlando looking for number 2, and he's got it. Lee Orlando with a 2nd touchdown in his 2nd game. He's got two touchdown games in a row. And what a job from this rushing attack, as it's once again bit of a blowout here in the 4th quarter, as that pass sailing over everybody's head. Down 25. Liberty's going to go for it, and they got some time, but no one's getting open. He's eventually just going to heave one deep. It's intercepted. Shaq Alba didn't really need to pick it, but, you know, I'll be okay with that. We missed out on a lot of picks last year. I'm happy to get some this season, as NIU has really quieted a lot of questions that we had. Turnovers, blocking, pressure. Those were the 3 big things. It's been pretty good the first 2 weeks, as Riley down the field taking the shot for Leanne, and he's had it again. Jalen Leanne, he might be unstoppable this year. I am just incredibly impressed with what Leanne's doing, as he was already spectacular last season, as Kendrick finds the end zone, but not getting too excited. This one, a mistake from the offensive line coming back. It will be a holding, so I mean, back him up. It's a rare mistake in this game, which has been really clean. Leanne can't reel that one in. A little too far out to go for it. A little too far out for a field goal, and we don't need to go for it. We got the defense out here on a Miles Graham sack, and backing them up again. Let's just catch the highlights, since it's 4th and 18, and a deep shot on Bakari Sway, knocked away. NIU takes over with 6 minutes. Screen set up. Here's Seti Almira getting a little design touch for him. We want to see a couple of those this season, as the run for Roxy finds a hole in Roxy Kennedy for 12. 4 minutes to play, and it might be looking for the end zone. It's Martin Elena finding it. What I love about this is the whole team coming over when Martin Elena specifically scores a touchdown. They love Martin Elena on this team, and even though he's the 3rd string back, they are here to celebrate every touch he gets, specifically as he ends the game off with a 42-10 victory. And each of the running backs find the end zone. Jalen Leanne has a great game, another 400-plus yard day from the offense, and the defense was good as well. Riley, no turnovers, didn't make many mistakes, completed over 60% of his passes, did what he needed to do. And the defense, look at that, under 50% and just over 100 yards passing for Warner. Now, Stoneburn had a nice game, but, I mean, we ran it better. Elena has really been taking up the garbage time carries, but the team loves blocking for him. It's definitely like just kind of like that sentimental favorite player that they love to root for is Martin Elena. So it's nice to have a guy like that on the team. And, you know, obviously they're trying to push for him to get the football a little bit more, because he has dwindling carries. But, I mean, well, it's a good problem to have when you have too much talented running backs on your team, as the defense goes and gets 4 sacks. Miles Graham with another awesome matchup where he just goes and runs wild on the other team and gets tackle for loss after tackle for loss. He was pretty good in coverage as well. And so far, 2-0, and we are very, very happy with how things have gone. But before we can get all too excited, we do have to turn to the fact that we have a tough Colorado road matchup up next. You know, Liberty and Temple, they're not great teams, you know, no disrespect to them, but we are the better rosters on paper, and we took care of business. We wanted to see how this team would do, and, you know, I think they definitely performed ahead of expectations the first 2 weeks to go out there and win by, you know, 30 points on average against both teams. But let's see what we do when we face off against a team that is better than us on the road in a really hostile environment for Colorado. It's going to be tough. But before we get into that game, let's check out on some of these other players. We're going to be taking on Blaze Carlisle, but how about some of these other players? Because how about Dieter Keaton, who started off his season very spectacularly for his Penn State roster? This is a guy who we kind of touted as a big slot machine type of player who's going to be, you know, lining up in the slot all over the field. Well, Penn State was asking him to do a little bit of outside stuff too now that he's the #1 receiver. Handled it pretty well. 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown in a win over Syracuse, including this monster play down the field where he got by the defenders, a little collision, got him free, and a catch and run all the way to the end zone. So Penn State finding themselves a nice #1 receiver. But also, how about we go and take a look at J.J. Comella in his Minnesota debut. It wasn't an easy one on the road at Mississippi State, but he really looked like he was poised and ready for his opportunity. Sat as a freshman, got the redshirt treatment, but how about 289 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, added 64 rushing yards and a touchdown as well. We'll be taking on Comella and the younger of the brothers in a couple of weeks, and we'll be seeing what he is able to do. And also, not to take away from JJ, but TJ is also starting at Wisconsin along with Coco Reynolds, and we'll be taking a look at them in the coming weeks as well. But interesting to see that JJ was so spectacular on the road against an SEC opponent, really putting on display that dual threat ability that he does have. And if Minnesota, with this talented roster that they've built up, has their guy, has their quarterback of the future for the next couple of seasons, you could be seeing Minnesota really make some noise in the Big Ten. And I mean, yeah, we're going to really get a look at him firsthand, and that's going to be an exciting test for our defense against the dual threat, special talent, 5-star player. It's going to be one of the best quarterbacks that we're going to have the pleasure of taking on. But let's get into a game against another one of these players. Blaze Carlisle is the starting running back here at Colorado, and taking them on the road, a really tough matchup for this team. Taking on Julian Lewis, Blaze Carlisle, and a really talented roster led by Deion Sanders. And we'll see what this first test has for us. I talked about how this team operates when things are going right, specifically Cash Riley. When things are going right, when things are easy, it's looking great. But how does things get when it gets tough, when the adversity strikes? As Cash Riley and this offense can see what they have on their plate going up against this Colorado defense. A first time ever meeting between these two schools as Roxy Kennedy takes the carry, and the first play of the game is a nice run from Roxy. Riley to the air now. He's going to step up. He's going to run a little, and Cash Riley for 7 yards, 3rd down and 1. Lee Orlando off tackle, and we'll get a first down on the ground, and we'll see what this ground attack has. Can they have another 180-yard cumulative day as Jalen Leanne with the grab, and Leanne already started off his first drive with a reception as Kennedy breaks off a tackle and gets 4. Nice opening drive as they're already at the 33-yard line. Riley rolling out, and Cash is gonna go for a 1-yard scramble, 4th down and 5. They'll try a 50-yard field goal, and the kick is wide right. Kicking is not gonna be this team's strong suit, but we're going to hope it doesn't hold us back too much. Julian Lewis is the team's quarterback, and he is going to form one of the more dynamic backfield duos. Blaze Carlisle's first career start was over 100 yards. He is going to be splitting in the rotation with a number of running backs. As a fumble on the field, Lewis puts it down, and the Huskies scoop it up. Owen Chambliss picks it up, and the defense forces another turnover. And what a turnaround. I feel like we already got more turnovers in the first 3 games than we had all last year. Riley hit as he's throwing up for Leanne. It's incomplete. Wanted Leanne in the end zone, but he got hit, that ball underthrown. Instead, 2nd down, Kennedy right up the middle, and Roxy Kennedy to the 14. Shedding arm tackles like they're nothing as Riley over the middle, passes, jumped, intercepted. And he went right through the big body tight end, Jackson Warren, and takes it right back. So both turnovers kind of offset each other. Pass to the outside. That's Blaze Carlisle with the grab, and he is going to get a grab for a gain of 7. RPO right side over the head of his receiver. And Lewis, 3rd down and 3. A little bit of a shaky start for him as Colorado also 2-0 as the sack. Owen Chambliss, what a start for him. 2 sacks and the fumble recovery. And we take over in great field position as Orlando carry for 8 yards. And this has been a pretty action-packed first quarter despite there being no points as Warren with a flat-out drop. And there's a flag down. This is going to be a holding penalty, so NIU, couple holdings so far in the first few weeks. We're going to hope that doesn't become an issue as Riley to the air and hit as he's throwing. 3rd down and 12. Riley is going to set up the screen and Roxy nowhere to go. Colorado takes it back in a scoreless first quarter so far as Lewis with time throws it deep and it's knocked away. A Ritz in good coverage. 2nd down and 10. As they go with the keeper, Lewis is going to have Masarena met him at the 1-yard shy mark, and a sneak is going to get him that 1st down as Lewis now hands it off. Carlisle, and there goes Blaze for a gain of 7. As it's 3rd down and 3 for Lewis. He's going to step up, throw it, and that's a great completion and a 1st down. Could have ran for it, trusted his arm, and it worked out as now the screen set up. One of the other running backs, Shaq Bellamy, who curiously enough is wearing a wide receiver number 84, is going to be splitting carries and time. Lewis, deep ball, it's 1-on-1 and knocked away. And more good defense from the secondary first quarter, wrapping up with this play. Pass outside for Leanne, incomplete. Too far out. Threatening to go 3 and out as Riley. Play action. There's a flag down, and the pass was low. So not a good throw, but a flag in again. And that's going to be another holding, 2nd of the game. And now we move over to Colorado, who's got great field position. And Lewis on the read option. And he makes a move on Alba and gets a really nice gain as they're going to go quick pass. And it's reeled in. Great, tough, contested catch as Carlisle, wide open lane, and Blaze with the spin to find the end zone. And Blaze Carlisle puts up the first touchdown of the game for Colorado, 7-0, and the Huskies take over. A little option as they flip it out. Jalen Leanne want to get him the ball whatever way we can, and a 1st down run gain of 11. Play action now as Riley is going to roll right. Riley has got one man down there, and he's going to go for the 6'8" Jackson Warren. That's going to be what he does best, boxing out and bodying defenders. He is bigger and stronger than most. As Kennedy on the run will have 7. And now 6 minutes to play as Riley with the blitz in his face. Flag is down. Kendrick got the completion. And Kendrick in the red zone. But another holding penalty. That's going to be number 3 of the game. And another crucial situation. Now even worse, a false start on this offensive line. So back them up 5 more. A 1st down the red zone turns to 3rd and 17 at midfield. Riley is going to find Jalen Leanne, who's looking for that 1st down, and Leanne is just shy 4th and inches, but you set up to go for it. Running it, Orlando. 1st down and overcoming that hurdle of getting backed up 15 yards by penalties. Riley throws it, it's intercepted! And 2 good drives may have been ended due to just poor mistakes. Riley, the first pick was just kind of jumped in front of Warren, not too much on him. That one, though, just was anticipating number 38 to just not be there, and he was sitting on that play to SETI. So now Colorado takes it over, and already 2 turnovers and a bunch of penalties that you just don't like to see as Lewis gets sacked. Chambliss has 3 in this half, blitzing him quite a bit, and will get the stop. Defense at least doing their job. Riley gonna tuck and run it, and Riley diving ahead for a gain of 7 yards as we go to 3rd down. Riley, pass, not gonna be reeled in, but there's another flag down, and it's holding again. The 4th holding of the game in the first half as Lewis is going to go outside. I mean, they did decline the holding because it was a drop on 3rd down, but still, it's brutal. I mean, now we've got, a pair of drops and 5 penalties on the offensive line in total as Carlisle gets the 1st down carry. Feels like with under 2 minutes to go, NIU just wants to get to half and try to calm things down, reel in some of these mistakes. I mean, some of them may be on Riley, but most of them actually aren't on Riley. The picks are not great, obviously, but the situations have been so much worse that you've been putting yourself into. As with a minute to go, that's Bellamy with a great spin move. Chambliss put on the dirt, and in the red zone now, 30 seconds to play, and that's a great stop from Stewart. 10 seconds to go. Colorado playing it safe here. They're gonna get sacked, and Alba got in. They'll have to just kick the field goal as time expires, so it will be a 10-0 halftime score. And man, it's been really frustrating. I mean, I'm not putting this all on Riley. That 5 penalties and some really just rough moments from this team. It's just frustrating. You can't keep setting yourself back and shooting yourself in the foot like that. Is the first play of the second half. It's a spin move down the field. Are you serious? Touchdown, Colorado. First play of the half, a 70-yard touchdown from Allen. And now it's 17-0. You were really hoping you can help yourselves out. And the offense immediately, there's a flag down. And they immediately go and get a holding penalty. And that is just, it's demoralizing because you wanted to clean that up at half, and you immediately do it as soon as you get the chance in the second half. 3rd down and 14 now. That pass is incomplete. But, I mean, you're just putting yourself in these impossible situations as the catch is made, and 2 tackles shed off, and a first down. Lewis is at 150 on the day. Half of those basically coming from one play is Shaq Bellamy. Is going to make a move on Alba, breaking a tackle of Vallejo and getting brought down all the way inside the 10 as Lewis. A quick pass outside, touchdown. And Colorado's up 24-0 as Riley on first down. Warren can't hang on, a drop. And what is going on with this team? Kennedy, I mean, we can't run the ball much. You're down by 24 points. What are you really going to do as Riley is going to find Kennedy out of the backfield, and he'll have 19 on the play as Riley back to the air underneath. There's Givens, and there's another flag down. And are you serious? Holding again. That is 7 penalties on the offensive line. I mean, I guess they're not allowing insane amounts of pressure, as that's the first sack for Colorado. But, I mean, what does it matter if it's penalties like that that are just the same thing? 10-yard losses. 3rd and 29 is the situation, as Riley is just going to throw it down the field in double coverage to Leanne, but it's incomplete. I mean, what do you do in this situation? I don't know what's wrong with this offensive line right now. I mean, they're blocking better, but they're holding so much. And now Colorado is just set up with more good field position, more opportunities. This 3rd quarter winding down. They got an open man. Bellamy breaking 2 tackles, and Alea takes him down for a first. They're in the red zone, and an RPO, open man, and a play to the 6-yard line. Quick pass, tight end, touchdown. Colorado, 31-0. And this is just ugly. This is bad. Leanne on the carry, and he'll have a first down. I mean, we've seen something like this before. To start Riley's career, it was like a 30-0 deficit against Rutgers, and he came back. Maybe this time it can happen again. We'll give it a try as Colorado just got to not let anything silly happen. That pass is intercepted. Leanne had a step, and I won't even fault the decision there. Just the throw maybe needed to be a little bit further out in front, as that is just a throw where you needed it to be perfect, and it wasn't. So that's the confidence of Riley, getting the best of them. 3rd down and long, though. Double coverage knocked away, and Colorado will punt. So with a minute to go in this quarter, Warren on the completion, and Jackson Warren for a first down. As we got to the Colorado side of the field as Riley play action. He'll throw for Kendrick, and a completion for 7 yards. From the 39, at this point, we just want to get any points on the board as Riley scrambles for the first down. And it's 1st and 10 from the 34 now as Leanne outside. That pass is dropped, And there is another flag. And they're going to call holding again. I'm losing count. This is 8 penalties on the line. As now, another flag is down. Are you serious right now? It's another hold. What is happening? 1st and 30. Riley. Not many plays you have for this situation, but how about Roxy Kennedy wide open out of the backfield? And he breaks a tackle. Roxy got the first down. And a gain of a massive 40 yards. And Cash throws it to Edelmira. Instead, he gets it to the 4th quarter inside the 10-yard line. Handoff Lee. Orlando hasn't seen much of him this game. We just haven't seen much of the ground game at all as Riley over the middle. Leanne, touchdown. And starting off the 4th quarter with poise, going for 2. Just doing whatever we can to get as many points up on the board as possible as Riley incomplete. I mean, no surprise here. We're going for the onside kick. Just hoping for some miracles to happen. He misses the ball, but then the second guy comes in and scoops it up. 31-6 your score. Backups for Colorado are in, and they go 3 and out. So taking over the ball, it's an NIU again, and there's another flag. Kendrick first down, but it's another flag. Another offensive lineman making a mistake. We're in double digits for penalties. Riley to the air, and it's going to be down the field. Almira got free, and Santa Almira from our own 7 to the Colorado 42. As Riley from the 38, he's got a wide open. Jalen Leanne, touchdown. And at least Leanne's having a big day. Another touchdown for him. And another 2-point conversion try. It's over the head of Obamanu. 31-12 your score. And an onside kick again is going to be picked up by Colorado. You get those 2-point conversions and you're thinking to yourself, well, you got a 2-score game. It's not impossible. But, you know, we got to get the stop. And a first down for Colorado is going to put them in field goal range. So just going to be adding more points on the board and now trying to hold them out of the end zone. But Bellamy for the first down to the 7-yard line. Backups for Colorado still in. They don't even threaten us to that point where Julian Lewis is still just sitting on the bench. 3rd down and goal as Colorado the air. And he's got so much time and an open man to the back of the end zone. Touchdown. And any hopes that a comeback might have been thrown away there as Kennedy out of the backfield is going to get another nice play. Kennedy's been amazing in the receiving game. Over 100 yards for Roxy through the air as the pass for Warren is going to be reeled in. And Warren gets us to Colorado territory. I mean, I'm happy with the way we're moving the ball now, but it's just too late, and the situation, we've dug ourselves too big of a hole. Pass to Givens, broken tackle. Givens, Golden go from the 10 with 3 minutes to play as Riley is going to have a flag down. Flag again, he gets sacked. You held it, you still couldn't block him. And, I mean, it wasn't the guy who allowed the sack, but another hold. And it'll be long ways to go. 2nd down and goal as another flag is down. What is happening? I've never seen anything like this. Holding again. I'm speechless for what I'm watching as Leanne down the field inside the 5. You just keep digging yourselves out of that hole as Riley to Leanne. Touchdown, his 3rd of the game. Jalen Leanne. I mean, Riley and Leanne and Kennedy are trying. Leanne gets the 2. 38-20 is your score. Onside kick up this time. And, I mean, you kick it low, you kick it high, you kick it directly at them or away from them. Doesn't work. Game is over 38-20. That was a miserable game from this line. I just watched this team. I mean, only 11 penalties were accounted for, but there were penalties that weren't accepted. There were at least 3 that weren't accepted. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Riley throws for 377, 3 touchdowns. Yes, he had 3 interceptions, but I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you lose that much due to penalties? You just, I'm not saying penalties are the only reason that NIU lost the game. There were other things that went into it, but That was just one of the most frustrating performances you could watch as a team. Every time they did something, it was just a mistake. Every time they moved forward, they moved backwards even more, back-to-back holding penalties even. That is just inexcusable, and you're questioning now the discipline of this team in general. I mean, Cash Riley was the question at the start of the season. I don't have as many questions about Cash Riley as I did 3 weeks ago. I got questions not on the talent of this offensive line, but you knew that they had to gel and work together, but that is just inexcusable. The talent is there. They're just holding. They're just grabbing. They're just making mistakes, and I don't know where to go from there because you felt like you had so much positive progress. The offense was playing great. The defense was playing great in the first 2 weeks, and then that happens. And now you got to wonder, because we're kind of leaving off on a cliffhanger there, is the story has been when everything goes right, it's great, it's cool, win streak, everything is thumbs up, and we're happy, and we're one big family right now. But when things start to go bad, when things go south, Cash Riley, who's already had a shaky relationship with offensive linemen, it feels like, I mean, he might be ready to start throwing people under the bus. And if that happens, well, then what? Will they start to rebel? Will divides start to be formed? These first 3 games told us that this team has a lot more talent than last year and has the potential to be a legitimate contender in this conference. That's what the first 3 games told us. The next 3 games are going to tell us what type of person and leader has Cash Riley become. What type of person is he? What type of leader has he become in a year now from when he started to become this team's quarterback, and what he has made progress-wise from this offseason? We said that the sit-down with him and Alejandro Easy, that he said the right things, but saying is only so much. Is he going to do the right things to make sure that this team gets back on track, stabilizes, recovers, and goes forward? Or will things start to unravel like they did last year? And if it unravels earlier this season than it did last year, I mean, at least last year it unraveled the final 3 weeks. If it starts unraveling after the 3rd game, you're going to be looking for answers. And the answers might be at the backup quarterback room. The answers might be some other players on the offensive line. The answers could be anywhere, and we'll have to try to look for them. But we'll get into recruiting now, as, you know, at least let's talk about some positive stuff. And if you want to talk about a guy who is going to make the lives of offensive linemen absolute nightmares, how about Vile Derek Bile, #1 overall player, not just for the defensive line, not just for the state of Minnesota, but in the entire nation. This is a generational type of player, the best player that we're going to talk about all season, one of the best players we're going to talk about all series. This is a 330-pound super athlete of a defensive tackle who is powerful, bulldozing, and has all the abilities in the world to be one of the most dominant interior linemen that you will see. This is a guy who just eats up double teams, and if you dare leave him one-on-one, you already seen one clip where he bowled over, and you can see right here splitting a double team on the run, and he is just an elite, high-level, dominant pass rusher. You can see the teams that he is playing, you get a guard on him, you chip him with a running back, you double team him, and he is still getting in, disrupting plays, disrupting passes. And not only that, he can move a little bit. For a guy who's 330 pounds, he can move shockingly well, and it is terrifying. This is a player that can change the identity and change the complexion of your defense if you get him on your team. The only issues you have with the guy is he's 330 pounds, so there's some weight management potential there. As you know, when you ever get players that big, you got to try to manage their weight to make sure that they don't go too far over and that they don't lose some of the explosiveness that makes them special. And then also, when you get these superstar level pass rushers, run defense effort is a little bit of a question. You see he has the occasional flashy play, but there are plays that he takes off because he's saving himself for the pass rushing because he knows he's getting double teamed. He's wanting to use his strength to bowl through and get past those double teams. So other than that, there's no weaknesses in his game when it comes to what he is as a high school player going into the college world. It is purely just the limitations of Derek Bile are himself. Can he keep his weight down? Can he keep his effort up? If so, you have a special player, and whoever gets him is getting a generational type of defensive lineman. So for Derek Bile, we're going to see where he ends up. But for NIU, we got to see where we end up in the next 3 weeks, as Jalen Leanne has had a spectacular start to his season. 7 catches, 8 catches, 10 catches, 100 yards in every game, and 5 touchdowns already. So what a start for him, and we're going to see what Kaz Riley is able to do for this team and lead them into the next 3 weeks. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of the way the season opened, what you thought of guys like Kaz Riley and how they're moving in year 2, and how these players are going to formulate into the success or the downfall of this team. I will see you guys all in the next one.